Now, Governor Romney, because you were governor of the Commonwealth, you know your revolutionary history. And so I want to throw a little Thomas Paine at you from December 23rd of 1776. They call it the darkest hour of the Revolution. It's before Trenton and the Delaware crossing after, 6 months of misery and defeats. And Thomas Paine writes the famous opening lines of the crisis. These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but that he that stands it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. So here's the question. If you personally believed, really genuinely believed, that you were the only candidate who could beat Hillary, and that belief was confirmed by your family and your friends and respected political advisors, would you not then feel obliged to run?
Well, Hugh, the reason I came to the conclusion I did, which is this is not the right time for me to run, it is because of my belief that someone else stands a better chance of winning than I do. Had that not been the case, had I believed I would actually be best positioned to beat Hillary Clinton, then I would be running. But I actually believe that someone new that is not defined yet, someone who perhaps is from the next generation, will be able to catch fire, potentially build a movement, and be able to beat Hillary Clinton. If I thought that weren't the case, I would have been running. But I think we got a number of very good people looking at this race. I'm expecting someone to be able to catch fire and get the job done. Now,
I'm pressing, and I'm pressing an advantage of long acquaintance, and so forgive me for this, but that's subject to change, right? People's candidacies implode, circumstances change, people who organize campaigns approach you, and so I'm not asking you, I wouldn't presume to ask you to say, yeah, I'm in the race, but circumstances change, and if you thought that, in fact, it were not that way, that you thought you were the only one who could do this, you'd change your mind, wouldn't you?
I'm not going there, Hugh. I know you're going to press. But this is something we gave a lot of thought to when early on I decided we're not going to be running this time. And again, we said, look, I have had the chance of running. I didn't win. Someone else has a better chance than I do. And that's what we believe, and that's why I'm not running. And, circumstances can change, but I'm just not going to let my head go there. I remember that great line from Dumb and Dumber where the...
So you're telling me I have a chance.
Yeah, right, there you go. You remember. You're telling me I have a chance. It's one out of a million.
Hey, all the takeaway is already circumstances can change. I know how we're going to play this. But I hope it's not the Harold Stassen nonsense, which overlooks the far more unlikely comebacks like Reagan's and Nixon's and Dewey's and Stevenson and William Jennings Bryan. In fact, not even Stassen became a joke until his 64 run, when his previous 4 runs were all very serious affairs. Here's what your running mate said yesterday on the show.
Would welcome it. I've told him that I was with him last Thursday. I think he should run. I think people are getting to know who he really is. I think there's buyer's remorse, and I think he'd make an outstanding president. He says emphatically, though, that he won't do it. I wish he would. I think he'd be a unifier. But I'll take Mitt at his word, and he's pretty clear he's not going to do it.
He's not as abrasive as I am. And so I know you have been very clear you're not doing it now. I just keep looking for that. I get asked everywhere I go because I wrote the book about you. Have you heard if there's any door open? I said, no, I haven't. He always says, no. But I've always also said that I thought if you thought you were the only guy who could win, you'd do it.
Well, let's say all the guys that were running all came together and said, hey, we've decided we can't do it. You must do it. That's the one out of a million we're thinking about.